Hello and welcome to another episode of the Perth to Paisley Podcast, a podcast dedicated to the only remaining unbeaten team in the United Kingdom's professional football leagues, Heart of Midlothian Football Club. Joining me, Adam Kennedy, to discuss the Jambos' latest two results is Daniel McIver. McIver, after Coventry City's defeat to Wrexham in Wales last Friday night, Hearts are now the last man standing. Have I just jinxed us, given Dundee United have won their last two trips to Tynecastle?
Yeah, you definitely have. Who did Arsenal lose to?
Liverpool.
Oh, of course they did. The
Jobbersley,
Soboslai,
Worldy.
like amazing goal. Of course. Wow. God, it is just everything's coming up Millhouse for the Homer and Barts.
Hey,
Just like
nice.
you have ruined it now. You absolutely have ruined it ahead of beautiful Jim Goodwin coming to town. Absolutely knackered it. But until then, we can revel in the brilliance that we've seen over the last 7 days.
Still not the worst thing that's been said on this podcast so far. With coming up Millhouse for the Homer and Barts.
I hate, Ken,
Fantastic.
what? I absolutely hate that nickname for us as well. But it's just, I realised the connection I could make quickly.
No, I think it's funny. I like the snooker and darts. I think that's
I
a
hate
good
all
one.
that. I hate only an excuse generally because it's the worst thing ever. But that sketch is like the nadir of it. Awful.
Wow, the Jambos.
No,
Anyway, we're
it's
here to
so
talk about the
bad.
Jambos. But before we do so, we're going to go around the grounds. There were midweek matches that were taking place in the Scottish
Can't believe
Premiership
this is how we've started this episode.
alongside our game in Paisley against St Mirren. There was a grand total, McIver, of 7,472 days that had passed since Martin O'Neill last oversaw a league win as Celtic manager before the boys battered the Bears at Parkhead in midweek, Celtic winning 4-0 against Falkirk at Celtic Park. A fifth-minute strike from Danilo was enough to see Rangers squeeze past Hibs 1-0 at Easter Road in what was seemingly a woeful game of football. His performance perhaps overshadowed by his dad's in and amongst the Rangers fans. Certainly not by Jamie McGrath, who missed a penalty kick for the hosts, despite Jack Iredale celebrating before it had even found the net. You wanker. It also ended 1-0 to the away side in Ayrshire as Aberdeen nicked a victory at Rugby Park, courtesy of a sole goal from Stuart Armstrong, with Kilmarnock continuing to drop like a stone. More on that later. And Motherwell headed for Hampden off the back of a convincing and comprehensive victory over Dundee United as the Steelmen were victorious 2-0 at Fir Park. What did you make of the other four, I believe it's four, fixtures in midweek?
So I don't really know what you say about the Celtic game because I think even if Rodgers was in charge, they would have handedly beaten Falkirk at home. No disrespect, obviously, to Falkirk. We will get to you this weekend. Thank you for just continually proving me a genius. But yeah, so I don't really know what you say about that.
I don't know, you say that. Some of the draws that they did lose to under Rodgers,
True,
a
but I
certain
just
Dundee
feel,
in mind.
yeah, but that was both the losses
I know
have
what
come
you mean.
away through home.
And even
Um,
under Rodgers, they played Falkirk a good couple of times at Parkhead
of course, aye,
and battered them.
yeah.
Although it's been in 10 games.
Rangers Hibs was I would have liked a draw because we're suddenly in this position where we're
I
like
actually
we need
fancied a
Rangers
draw,
to
to be
drop it.
honest.
So did I. I thought 1-1, and when I saw McGrath got a penalty, I was like, oh, here we
Here
go.
we go.
But no, Iredale definitely thought that. But just I was actually out for a meal last night as we record this with a Hibs fan, and the sentiment kind of just seems to be what you see across social media for Hibs fans that they have been the main team to not take advantage of this dip in old firm form. I know they obviously got a point at Parkhead, which is huge, but it seemed to very much just be because Celtic were off it. It was nothing to do with them. And they've been pretty pitiful against Rangers anytime they've played them this season. And again, we'll get to them later this weekend. It's more dropped points.
Too
So
many draws, isn't it?
yeah, it's just the Morton of the top flight, basically.
That's not what anybody wants.
No, you never want to have that as your legacy. Um, Obviously, our game happened, which we'll get to. What was the Motherwell score? They won, but
2-0 against Dundee United.
yeah, I
A
just
clean sheet for them is rare because that
that was the
goalie
big
is
thing for
hopeless.
me. He's absolutely rubbish, and I was quite surprised. Not. not that they've scored goals or that they look good, because that's what this Motherwell team do. But just Dundee United, I just think are like a solid team this season. But considering, yeah, this I I never saw a situation where Dundee United don't score in a game against a team around them. Pretty much, I can see it if they go to one of those firm or us right now. But even then, they scored two against us.
I was going to say, I think heading into midweek, were they not the second top scorers in the league?
They
I think
must.
that's,
They're
I'm pretty sure.
definitely up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I was really like, I was really happy for Motherwell, and I was one of those people going in this weekend, going on that big pitch, Motherwell's football. They'll tear them apart. Like they're just going to walk through them, and that very much was not the case. But again, we'll get to that later.
And Aberdeen, obviously great to see
I
a win
tried
for
to.
Jimmy Tilleen to keep him in the job.
I tried to not think about that because I do what not worry because I'm like we're so far ahead, but I'm kind of like, oh, but this is now starting to get into a point of like, well, it's not just a couple of it's now he's starting to get a run again. And it's like this guy just seems to get runs where it's like he'll now go 18 games without a loss or something like that.
It won't last, don't worry. And
I
then of
hope
course
so.
you've got our game, which I think on paper everybody the kind of ghosts of Paisley past
Yeah.
were very much on our shoulders here. Heading into this one, it was of course the only place where we've lost, albeit on spot kicks, in the entire season, which is just mental to
Yeah.
say. And Derek McInnes named an unchanged team yet again for the sixth match in a row. I think with that kind of League Cup knockout match in mind, he obviously gave debuts to a couple of players that day. Um, Perhaps not deeming it, a safe ground to do so here again, or make changes, alterations. Um, you know it by now, but in case you don't, Hearts lined up as follows: Alexander Schwolow in goal, back four of Stephen Kingsley, Stuart Finlay, Craig Halkett, and Oisin McEntee. Alexandros Kiziridis on the left, Harry Milne on the right, with Benny Beningame and Cammy Devlin in the centre. Claudio Braga partnering Lawrence Shankland in attack. Um, no surprise, is it, to see that? Like I say,
No. However, I think in hindsight, it was one game too many for an unchanged side because I just felt, particularly in the last 25 minutes or so, we looked really leggy. Ironically, we ended the game quite strongly and kind of seemed to be the main team going for a winner. But generally, I think very early on, I started to be like, ah, is Harry Milne going to work at right mid against St Mirren? Probably not. And
the
just
land of the
Kizzy looked
Giants.
tired. Yeah, exactly. Where every player is 7'6". Kizzy looked quite tired. Again, he still had a big impact in the game, but he seemed basically. This is my theory. There's a bug in Paisley that breaks Jamestown analytics because we seem to be. It seems to be the one area that we can't do anything. And I see today they've announced their own partnership with
I
Data.
was literally just about to come on to that. I think I could essentially do their job for them. All you need to search is 6'5", pace, power being the key attributes, and kind of just strength. Yeah, that's all you really need. And
It's like when you search
and
free
within kind of wage
agents.
parameters and transfer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You search it in FM and you just set everything like to whatever, but strength,
international caps minimum
yeah,
75.
strength, pace, power set to 15. So they're hopeless
Yeah.
at everything else, but 15 minimum. And you just go, right, sign all them.
I want to kind of touch on the bench because there was players that
Yeah.
potentially could have featured here: Craig Gordon, Jamie McCart, Elton Kabangu, Landry Kabore, Michael Steinvender, Blair Spittle, Tam Magnuson, Saba Kajota, and Ajew. Out of all those, were there any that you thought could perhaps kind of work their way into that Paisley lineup?
Ironically, because he made his debut there and he was absolutely terrible.
You're
Both
going
of
to say
them, actually.
Magnuson or something.
Magnuson and Kabore, I was like, oh, maybe they could start, but they were both awful when they started in that League Cup game. But with the benefit of hindsight, it was just a situation of they were put in too early in unfamiliar surroundings. I wasn't dissuaded by the team at all. I had said last week that I hoped we did go unchanged, but just in the actual game itself, I was like, I don't know if this is actually working.
Fatigue did look as though it was creeping in. I don't disagree. I actually thought in terms of Paisley, It was a really good game, first and
It was a
foremost.
great game
A really enthralling encounter. I think both teams will feel as though they could have won it, uh, easily could have lost it. Um,
in front of the
but
angriest stand in football.
that West Stand is quite something. But I thought my night was going to be made on 13 minutes. Claudio Braga wins the ball in halfway. Several maroon shirts looking to get forward and attack. It breaks for Lauren Shankland, who just carries forward, assesses his options. He picks out Benny Beningame, who drives and makes a fantastic run, cuts back onto his right foot, and looks to just bend past Jamal George into the top right hand corner. But my Congolese king hits the woodwork and the ball eventually bounces out of play. I actually thought it was going to trickle over the line
Yeah,
and in. Absolutely devastated because he scored two tackles for us in his entire Hearts career over the space of 5 years, and this would have undoubtedly been the best goal, probably in his entire professional career.
I couldn't believe it when he hit it. I think I celebrated the shot more than the potential goal. Like, I was just like, oh my God, Benny can be a professional footballer in that capacity as well.
I've seen the future. This is what he can do.
It's just, I couldn't believe it. And then, yeah, it's like, of course, it's the one time it doesn't go in as well. Like, it did. I fully thought, oh, that's hit the post. And the way it literally just ran across the line the whole way and then just the wrong side of the post.
Jamal George is literally like rooted to his line.
Yeah,
I think he thinks that it's just going to nestle into the corner.
unbelievable.
Um, However, that was sadly not the case. And as we just mentioned, St Mirren were looking to make their power and physicality count, and the opening goal in 28 minutes did exactly that. Jamal George takes a free kick from inside his own half, and despite several heads just missing the ball, um, it bounces in the box before Dan Inlundulu,
I think it's in Lundaloo, but I heard in the commentary from this weekend, it seems to be a silent N. Because I think it was Rory
Lundulu.
Hamilton was just going Lundaloo, but he might have just been saying the N really fast. So I
Big
don't know.
Dan controls with
Yes.
a lovely cushioned header. It essentially
Who
heads it
looked
onto
great, by the
himself.
way. He looked amazing.
A big boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he sends an overhead kick past Alexander Schwolo in a flash. Absolutely nothing that the goalkeeper can do. The hosts take the lead with an absolute wonder goal. St Mirren 1, Hearts nil.
I think it's Benny that misjudges the flight of the initial ball and lets it bounce. Because there's just like a
Kind of at
gap.
the edge of the area.
Yeah. I might be wrong. I've not watched it back since it happened nearly a week ago, but I think it was Benny. And like, it's one of them where you just kind of have to hold your hands up and go, if you concede an overhead kick, it's just like, right, okay, cool. But
What a fucking goal, son.
yeah, the main thing from this is that I just was like, don't panic, we'll go to score. Like, it doesn't matter. And that's where this team is. I was just like, yeah, we'll go to score.
You mentioned that it was nearly a week ago. It will be by the time that this obviously comes out. And you also mentioned that thankfully Hearts weren't behind for long. St Mirren forced us into a patient build-up with the likes of Milne, McEntee, Devlin, Finlay, Kingsley, all involved. Kizaridis eventually crosses for Shankland, who chests down, back out towards the flank. A second ball is then flung into the mixer by the overlapping Stephen Kingsley. Milne can't quite connect before Keanu Bacchus takes a really, really poor touch that just breaks for Lauren Shankland. The skipper keeps his composure, nips in, equalises with a lovely finish, but it's a complete gift. We're not complaining. St Mirren 1, Hearts 1, and game is on.
What did Mansfield do to Keanu Bacchus? Because when he left this country, I was like, he's great. He's got to go on to
Yeah,
bigger
he
and
looked
better
good.
things. And I couldn't
It-
believe how bad he was on Wednesday night.
It's funny you say that because I can remember when he signed for Mansfield, everybody was like, why on earth? Like, you thought he was bound for like a
Yeah.
championship club or like higher up the pyramid, but yeah, because I think were they League One at the time? Still
Yeah.
are League One. Um, and you're thinking one of the better performers in better midfield kind of maestros in our league. He's far greater than Mansfield. But I agree, he just looks a complete shadow of the player that
Yeah.
left.
But
Arguably the weakest of the three in that trio.
oh, 100% by an
Because
absolute
Kelly and
mile.
Phillips, I'm not a big fan of, but I think he's a decent footballer. I
Yeah.
think Mark O'Hara's really underrated
Yeah.
in this country. Um, it seems like Bacchus is definitely the weak link in that trio now.
But Shankland Shankland does what a striker should do and just gambles on a mistake being made. It's a very calm finish, but as I say, it is just symptomatic of where we are as a team just now. And we're just like, don't panic, we're fine, we're going to get back into games. And it's such a weird feel. Like, this is away at one of our most notoriously shit grounds. And I was like, it's all right, we'll get back into it.
Yeah, definitely. It is bizarre how kind of nobody's really talking about the mindset changing. Like, it's
Mhm.
great that we've got players that give us options and whatever in the final third, and I think therefore you have kind of that comfort blanket of, as you say, oh, it doesn't matter. We'll get back into games.
Yeah.
But I also think that a mindset change does have to come from that. Like, we haven't found ourselves buying too often this
Yep.
season. Um, it was kind of more in kind of the first 5 games or so that you really remember it. But ever since then, like, we've found like a new lease of life, and I
I
don't know
will
if that's just
say,
simply bodies that are coming into the building, so to speak.
Schwolo. I know everyone's joking about like, oh, is he actually good? But I don't think it's a coincidence that we've stopped going behind early because we've stopped conceding stupid goals that should be preventable.
It's funny. I actually got into a conversation with somebody on Twitter about this. I actually think this was his best game, and yet this is the game that he's
So do
conceded the
I.
most goals in.
Yep, I
Yeah,
thought he was fantastic. He made
made
like
some
two or three
phenomenal saves,
huge saves.
particularly when kind of St Mirren were piling on the pressure at the start of the second half. I mean, they almost punish us because I think right at the start of the second half we've got an opportunity that, simply put, I think we should do better with.
Mhm.
Oisin McAtee plays a lovely pass into Lauren Shankland's path, and he's in acres of space in the St Mirren box. He could pull it back to Braga. He could try and find Casaridis at the back stick, but instead he just drives for goal himself, and the ball goes behind for a Saints goal kick. Um, and then from there, it was like once we passed up that chance, it was basically all St Mirren. We were really under the cosh. Again, pace, power, strength, trying to make the most of that kind of physical advantage. Um, and on 53 minutes, Shamal George just clips a long ball forward, which Stuart Finley
It has
wins
been Stuart
ahead.
Winley this season with all the wins bonuses he's been getting.
Stuart Finley wins it ahead of Mikael Mandron. St Mirren eventually come away with possession as Miguel Freckleton slides down the line for Declan John to cross. Lovely delivery from the Welsh wing back. It's met by the aforementioned Killian Phillips, and this is one of those great saves where Swallow just palms over his own crossbar and behind for a Saints corner. Annoyingly, though, that resulting set piece doesn't clear the first man. Cammy Devlin nods clear. It comes back out to Declan John, headed high and into the sky by Stephen Kingsley. And as it drops off Stuart Finley's skull, Miguel Freckleton hammers home from close range. St Mirren retake the lead. The Buddies 2-1 up against the Jambos.
We were really poor defending this year, which was like an anomaly this season. We've normally been very good at defending both set pieces and crosses into the box generally. But I think Braga like gets in Kingsley's way as it happens. So as a result, he has to just kind of panically get something on it. And just overall, we just won the setup very well to deal with it. It's a good finish, but yeah, it was just like, for God's sake. Up until this point, I was still thinking, okay, that's fine, we'll get in it. But then the fact that we if anything, we got worse in the next 5 minutes, I was starting to be like, oh no, actually, this is it.
Because, as you rightly say, the major talking point of the match comes with just under an hour played. Declan John takes once more, whips another pinpoint pass to Miguel Freckleton, who heads towards the far post from the free kick. It bounces off the woodwork, and he slams home the rebound. Matthew McDermott, who I thought had a pretty poor game overall,
Yeah.
rushes over to the screen as VAR intervenes. Thankfully for Hearts, the goal is disallowed with Mark O'Hara adjudged to have impeded Lauren Shankland. But if you were to ask me, McIver, I think we get away with one here big time.
So, whenever we play at St Mirren, Dundee United, and Motherwell, I want to say, they are often the three grounds, but St Mirren definitely, where Hearts TV don't get replays in the ground. So Laurie and Rob, when they're doing commentary, can't see a replay.
They were frantically apologising as well. I'm like, it's okay.
So,
It's not your fault.
who do they rely on? Muggins. So basically, every single time we go to St Mirren, especially, I'm texting Rob updates on what's happening. So I was the voice of explanation to the Hearts TV's listeners,
Oh
so
dear
much
God.
so Rob explained it. Laurie goes, "Thank you very much for that explanation," and Rob goes, "No, thank you to Daniel McIver for that explanation." So, as we saw, I was explaining to them that the reason it's disallowed is that as Declan John plays it in, 5 St Mirren players are all offside, 4 are not involved in the play. However, Mark O'Hara is adjudged to be interfering with Lawrence Shankland in a way that interferes with the goal itself. Now,
Do you believe that is the case, though?
in real time, when it happened, I was shouting at how badly we defended, and then you saw the angle from behind the goal, and mid-ran, I went, I mean, in fairness, O'Hara steps across Shankland there. And then it went to VR, and I went, oh, has this actually happened? Because Shankland is the closest person to blocking Freckleton's rebound when it comes back. He is about 2 steps behind Freckleton by the time he gets to him, as Freckleton shoots. He has to take 1 and a bit steps to get out the way of O'Hara instead of being able to drive forward. Do I think Lawrence Shankland would have been able to get back and stop that goal if O'Hara hadn't been there? No. But do I understand why it's disallowed? Absolutely. Especially because, and Craig Fowler spoke about this on the terrace, and he did an article in the Herald where this has been something that St Mirren have done this season, and I just bluntly think refs have caught on to it, where they set up 6 players in an offside position to block, but because they're so far away, it's like we're not interfering. They did it against Hibs, and the goal counted, but there was a lot of controversy about it. They did it against Dundee United, and the goal was chalked off in real time, and VR then agreed. And now we're here, where it kind of keeps escalating, where I think referees have been like, we see what you're doing, St Mirren.
You're a
You
bunch of
can't
cheating
do
hammer
that.
throwers.
Yes, exactly. So, if that happened against us, I would go, that's harsh, but I can see it. And the best comparison I've got is when we got that goal disallowed at Dingwall last season in the 2-2 game where Shankland was adjudged to have interfered with play by being near the goalkeeper. Don't know if you remember it. We scored a free kick when we were 2-0 up. And it went in and everybody celebrated and it was like, no bother. And then suddenly the ref went, oh no, wait, I've got the monitor. And folk were like, what? And then you watch it back and Shankland runs across the face of goal, but he's like 10 feet away for the goalie.
I feel
It
terrible.
was
I genuinely cannot remember. Who scored the goal? George Grant?
potentially, yeah. Potentially. Whoever would have been on free kicks, so either him or Kingsley.
Or somebody. Don't know.
And it was disallowed. And I think this is a similar time because if you go back, I said at the time, I think it's harsh, but I do think it's the right decision. Here, I'll go, I think it's harsh, but I do think it's the right decision, even if I don't think Shankland would get back. But that's just because I don't think Shankland's fast. I think if it was Braga, I'd go, yeah, Braga would have got there unless O'Hara hadn't interfered.
So what you're essentially saying is Lauren Shankland's lack of pace here is a blessing.
Yes, correct. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Interesting. I love how we're spinning the narrative here. On 69 minutes, another fantastic save from Swallow denies Killian Phillips.
I think he was our man of the match, by the way.
Up there for me. It made some great
Yeah.
saves. This one, it just dives to his right to palm away the Irishman's header as he towers above Stuart Finlay. And again, after the 33-year-old saves Michael Mandron's near post effort, Hearts then go up and make Saints pay. A long ball up the park isn't dealt with by the Buddies backline. Braga heads down for Landry Kabori, who slides it into Alexandros Kizaridis. My Greek god looks to bend beyond Shamal George, but his effort cannons off the crossbar before our Portuguese pest is the first to react and head home the rebound. St Mirren 2, Heart of Midlothian 2, Bedlam in the away stands, or the away end, I should say. And thankfully, somehow, we're back on level terms.
It's kind of symptomatic of Kizarides, where I thought he had quite a quiet game and then he nearly scored like one of the goals of the season if George doesn't save that. But also,
I agree.
it,
That was probably his worst game for us, Kizarides,
yeah,
I thought.
probably.
But
Um,
again, like he was unbelievable against Celtic at the weekend. He's literally just become a father. Fatigue's bound to creep in at some stage.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that's I've got no qualms about that.
And it's symptomatic of Braga, where he's just an annoying wee dick. And he's just like, I don't care
But
that
he's
you've made a
our
wonder
wee dick.
save. Yeah, I'm just going to nip it. It's a good jump, like. It's a good jump
But
because he
considering
not
he's
only
up
gets
against the land of the
high,
giants,
exactly, he gets high up and heads it like, he doesn't just head it straight,
no,
he gets it
kind of
into
into
the
the corner as
corner.
much as he can. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great. And obviously, from that moment on until I think right now, all social media has been is that Stan singing the Claudio Braga song.
So good. So
My
good.
dad was at a gig on Friday night. I can't remember who he was seeing, but they were a
Queen, was
Scouse.
it?
Aye, they were a Scouse band up in Scotland. They finished their first song and they went, "Hi everyone, who the fuck is Claudio Braga?"
I love that. I mean, I think the video's on something like 7 million
It's
views.
just
Like
it's went
it's insane.
everywhere.
It really has. Absolutely brilliant. That
I'd be
it,
wanting royalties if I was the boy that made it, by the
oh,
way.
I actually know I know Callum quite well. Like we used to go to some games together. Um, a couple of seasons back. He's from Pennycook, I think.
I'd
Or
be livid
Lonehead or
if
somewhere.
I was
So
him.
too right. I mean, he should be moving slap bang in the centre of town. He should be caked, really. Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, I mean, my timeline the other day was literally just
Just
English
that?
fans being like, "Oh my God, I can't wait for us to rip this off for some
Yeah.
shite." Like,
And
and
then
I'm
the
just like,
Christian Romero worst song
"Oh."
you've ever heard came out of it.
It's just EFL fans being like, "This is fucking brilliant. Can't wait for somebody to murder it." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Please don't. Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
That would be smashing." Just leave that to us, like, because it is fantastic. I don't know, but like I have been going around the house just singing
Yeah.
it to
I'm the
myself.
exact
Like
same.
I can't get enough of it. Um, on 86 minutes, however, Hearts looked to have
Oh, I
nicked it.
forgot about this. I was like, we're done. But no, we're
No,
not.
not quite. Shamal George is equal to another Kizarides drive from the resulting corner. Devlin scoops into the area as Kabori misses out. Dreadful clearance. Falls the way of Lauren Shankland. His effort lands at Kabori's feet. The Burkina Faso forward lays it off to Craig Halkett. He gives it to Ocean McEntee on the left-hand side. The Irishman cuts back inside, drives towards goal. It's blocked off the line before Kabori shoots, and that rebound is blocked off the line before he eventually prods home. However, Ocean McEntee is offside in the build-up, and the
By a
goal is
mile.
correctly disallowed, despite it being pretty tight. What did you just say there?
By a mile.
Yeah, I'm trying to be kind, but yes.
How is that
Um,
not picked up in real time, man? Come on.
I do see a couple St Mirren defenders like appeal for it, so they obviously know it's just that
Yeah.
lino on the far side, but just gutted for Kabori. Like that would have
Aye.
just been instant hero status. And what about the boy? Did you see when he goes off to do celebrations? There's a boy that literally jumps about 4 rows and he just lands and falls and like gets up. It's just like yes,
It's so good.
oh, it's
Um,
amazing.
aye.
I
Listen.
hope he wasn't feeling too rough, by the way, that
Aye, I
guy on
know.
Thursday morning. And I
Um,
hope he'll be black and blue.
we'll obviously get to him. I think Kabori still had a pretty good week.
He
But
did.
there is an element. I saw, actually, speaking after the Dundee game, I saw Craig Cairns make a point that it's like Kabori's mental attitudes had to be pretty spot on because he came in and had to wait for ages to get a work permit, which I think everyone's kind of forgotten about. That put
I
a
was going to
massive
say, I thought
halt.
we'd never see him play.
Yeah, that put a massive halt. Then he played against St Mirren, got hooked at half time, was really poor. Played against Motherwell, got hooked at half time.
Was ushered out on the wing, I think.
Yeah,
Certainly the St Mirren game, possibly the Motherwell game as well.
Motherwell
Was
game as well.
pretty ineffective in both.
Then doesn't play for ages. So it would have been quite easy for him to go, this isn't working. I don't think it's going to do anything. But McInnes said afterwards, it's like he's been first class in training. Obviously, that hat trick for Burkina Faso. will be huge for his confidence. But just you can
Mental.
tell, it's like he's still confident in himself, and this week has really paid dividends for it. So gutting for him on Wednesday, it would have just been incredible. But it was all fine in the end.
His time was yet to come. That is
Yeah.
correct. We'll get on to Hearts defeating Dundee, where Landry Cabore. Do we go by Landry Cabore or Pierre Cabore
You
or Pierre
you
Landry
just
Cabore?
you just want him to go by Pierre Cabori so we can sing the Oasis song.
What? What's the story?
Yeah, that's all you because
I don't know. I
Landry
think
Cabori
what's the
doesn't work
story?
as well.
Landry Cabore. Yeah, I
You'd
think
have to go
Landry could
like
go.
Landry Cabori. Like
Landry Cabore. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I've
that
actually.
sounded like it was the yeah in the what's the story about the going, but really
Yeah.
sad. Like it was just like Liam's having an off
Yeah.
night.
What's the story, Landry Cabore?
Yeah.
I actually am disappointed that the Tequila song was playing when Cabore scored.
I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, a penny for Elton Kabangu's thoughts right
Oh,
now.
if I was Cabago, I'd be raging. And then everything comes out about him post-match being like, oh, he just stormed away up the tunnel. I'm like, yeah, no wonder. Like, my
Now,
man's just come in, nicked his place, and nicked his song. Like, Elton Cabango's got nothing left.
interesting, because I didn't know there was like rumours about that. We can get to this just now because I noticed that at full time. I noticed I was like, oh, Kabangu's straight down the tunnel. He does that a lot. He's done that pretty much every
That's
win.
fine. I'll be honest, McIver, I was rather intoxicated, so I did not notice that.
Yeah, you left the working men behind and went to your prawn sandwich
Meow,
brigade.
meow, meow.
Yeah, exactly. Showing your true colours.
Oh,
However,
yeah.
if we
The
get
first
4
time
0
I've done it in
wins, you can
27
do it.
years.
Like, yeah. I think I've been, since we started this podcast, I think I've been in hospitality 3 times in the Skyline Lounge and not paid a penny for it because of contacts.
What a scumbag. But we're not here to talk about the Skyline Lounge or the Corgi Suite. Do check out Hearts Hospitality, though. Keep pumping the money into the club. We really appreciate it. We're going to go around the grounds for weekend matches that were taking place in both the Scottish Premiership and, of course, the Scottish League Cup. Um, you have been perhaps John McGlynn's biggest stan and Falkirk's biggest stan. But a fourth league defeat on the spin for Kilmarnock will have them looking nervously over their shoulder. 3 Scottish Premiership victories in 4 games for Falkirk is just magnificent. Season rise to 5th. Incredible start to the season. So fair play, Team McIver.
I want to
Avenged
wait
won
just now. I know we
3-1.
never do this, but I'm interrupting you at a point because I went back and I listened to our preview.
Oh no.
I've got the clip. And basically, I
I
sat there
think you're
going,
gonna like insert it here.
it will be inserted into the YouTube version of the podcast, if I can remember. If not, I'll tell you this now. I said, I think I think Falkirk will start from their opening 11 games with like 3 or 4 wins, and that's where they'll get the majority of their points for the season. I went, there'll be an unknown.
Very
They'll
good.
keep playing the same way that they did in League One, the Championship, and they'll take people by surprise. And what has happened? And also, a McIver getting a goal at the weekend for them as well. It's me. It's
I think
actually me.
I think he's McKeever, but
He is
sure.
McKeever, and we hate that side. But for my argument, I can bastardize it and use it.
Um, Elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership, aside from our game, there was only one other match taking place.
What a match it was!
And late goals have proved to be the story of Livingston's season, one way or another so far. But Livy left it late to equalise against Hibernian in West Lothian last time out. Yet another draw for the best Scottish side to have ever competed in Europe earlier on in the campaign. That's a real shame. And in the League Cup semi-finals, you mentioned you fancied Motherwell. I stuck a little free bet on St Mirren before the semi-finals
Wow.
in the hope that I would get a decent enough cash out to maybe take heading into the final. Hasn't transpired that way. However, pace, power, and physicality got the better of pretty football at Hampden. St Mirren smashing Motherwell 4-1 at the National Stadium to progress to the League Cup final. I'll be honest, I fancied St Mirren slightly, not by that margin. And the Buddies will play Celtic next month in the showpiece after the Hoops beat Rangers 3-1 after extra time in a derby that was full of controversy and interesting decisions rather than anything exhilarating on the park. I'm fuming in that one because I fancied a penalty shootout, didn't know who was going to win it, said Rangers earlier on in the week, shat it, then put a tenner on both teams to win on pens, thought, yes, Rangers have equalised, here we go, heading into extra time, but it would have been a big ask because they were holding on with 10 men, but there's no way they were ever going to win once Theo Asgard was sent off for just sheer stupidity. What did you make of those other four matches in both competitions?
Fair play to St Mirren, man. They just have a style and a system, and it works for them. So
He's done a really good job.
it's just imagine if he wins them a cup.
I mean, he reached both finals with Motherwell, didn't he? And he
Yeah.
lost to Celtic both times. So he's been knocking on the door. He's been unfortunate. Good luck to them.
I hope they do it because it's way better to get knocked out by the eventual winners.
Was just about to say that. Yeah, I mean, it'd be funny that Celtic got beat in a cup final for one. Then there's the fact that they dumped us out, and also the fact that people can stop saying, "Oh, the last time they won it was in 2013 when they beat Hearts in the final."
Correct.
So,
Correct.
Yeah, we're back in the buddies for the cup. Come on, Robbo, fake Robbo, you can do it.
Yep. The old I mean, Jesus. Obviously, do we even need to say it? Yes, Trusty should have been sent off. Like, obviously, it's an
And
insane
yes, it was
decision.
a red card for Asgard.
Yes. And that Chermiti looks like the biggest waste of £8 million I think there's ever been.
16 Claudio Bragas you could have bought instead of him.
Like,
Puts things into perspective.
unbelievable. I just came out of that going, they're both not very good.
What's mental is, like, they lambasted Cyril Dessers, and now they would kill for a Cyril Dessers.
We supported you, Cyril, throughout all that.
We
were
stand
always
with
here for
Cyril.
you, mate. Yep, exactly. But most importantly, being in that ground where it was like, just you hear Graham then to go, Hibs were winning 2-1, and everyone just goes like, oh my God, we have almost double Hibs' points, and we are 11 games into the season.
I mean, you must feel like a right knob if you tipped Hibs to finish above Hearts. I know you were thinking about it, or you might have done it.
I did it.
Even numpties in the media, I've heard nobody backtrack on Hibs because seemingly David Gray was the messiah. He was the second coming of Sir Alex Ferguson. They were the best continental team to have ever played. Don't care.
I literally, as I said, I went back and listened to it, and my caveat was Hibs would finish third as long as they don't have Europe. But in it, I said, however, I will absolutely sit here happily and be like, lol, I was an idiot, Hibs are shite. And so far, it's working. So get it right up me. Come on. Yeah.
I genuinely was not having a go at you. I'm on about these.
Oh, no, the folk,
yeah,
100%.
No accountability whatsoever and haven't been dug up for it.
Yeah, it's
like,
insane.
You would
Tam McManus.
Oh, don't even get me started on him.
I'm blocked by him on Twitter.
Are you?
Yeah. from years ago.
Badge of honor.
Yeah, it was when he did that article when we came up for the championship, being like,
"Oh, but was it the spanking one? What was it he said?"
Yeah, his point was basically, "I'm delighted Hearts are coming back up because we'll spank them and put them back in their place." And then we finished third that season and didn't lose a derby and beat them twice in a week. And at the time, I think he went in a blockage free because all I said was, "How's it going, Tam?" That's all I said, and I got blocked. It was like, fine. You do you, mate. That. You wee fanny.
You and Stefan Adam are his biggest fans.
Exactly. 100%. So yeah, just great stuff, Hibs. Keep it going. Keep David Gray in. Because I just think David Gray is Barry Robson, Stephen Naismith.
Couple murmurs, some fans really not happy.
Yeah. But it's that thing as you said.
It's so horrible with the shoes on the other foot, but see once it's back on this, it's fucking brilliant.
They've only lost like 4 in the league in a year or something like that. It's mad.
And it's like a full-blown meltdown with just too many draws. Thankfully, there's not too many draws down Gorgie way. Derek McInnes making 3 changes for the first time in what feels like an eternity.
Yeah.
As Stephen Presley's Dundee came to Tynecastle. Stephen Kingsley and Craig Halkett both dropped onto the bench, with Michael Steinvender and Harry Milne coming into the back line. Blair Spittle coming out of the cold to start against the D. And Landry Cabore, I'm going with Landry, was given his first Heart start at Claudio Braga's expense. That meant that Hearts lined up as follows again. Bog standard 4-4-2 formation, Alexander Swallow in goal, back four of Harry Milne, Stuart Findlay, Michael Steinvender and Oisin McEntee. Blair Spittle on the left, Alexandros Kizaridis on the right, with Cammy Devlin and Benny Beringame in the middle of the park, and the aforementioned Kabore and Shankland in attack. 3 changes, McIver. Too many, too little. What was your thinking once you saw that team?
My thinking was, can everyone please calm the fuck down? Because, honest to God, the reaction to that team was genuinely quite embarrassing for some folk. It's like, what? We're playing Dundee at home as we are top of the league.
At home.
Like, calm down. You can't be sitting here going, the reason we're going to have a title challenge is because we've got a class squad. Then the second McInnes uses said squad, go, show us the real team, please. What is going on? Why are we doing this? Oh, that's worrying. What was worrying about it, apart from preconceived notions about Blair Spittle?
I was going to say that was one concern.
He was my one worry. In the first 12 minutes, I was like, fuck, they're all right. It's all happening.
The first half hour.
When nothing happened. Right, let's just speak about this, because my dad missed the first 15 minutes because of the fucking rugby and he couldn't get a parking space. He had to park up by Napier. Right?
Jammy bastard.
Yeah, so he missed the first 17 minutes, and it genuinely felt like, as my dad's mate Terry was saying, that they waited for him to get in to do anything. Because at least after 17 minutes, I think there was a shot over the bar or something. I've never seen a game like that for that first half an hour where I went, nothing, we're not bad. It's just nothing's going on. The most exciting thing was that for the first time in, I think, our history, a ball ended up on the wheat field.
John McCracken, I was like, oh my God. I was just watching it like genuinely bamboozled. And again,
believe that.
As you say, it's such a shit start. I'd booked 2 tables of 10.
Yep.
So we were literally sat, the hospitality, like my dad's pals and whoever else that came along. There was 2 rows of 10, one in front of the other. And I was shitting myself for the first half hour going, there are 20 people sat here that will never speak to me ever again for bringing them along here today. Because it was god awful. Absolutely abysmal. And again, I don't know what that's down to. Like, I can't. If you'd have said to me after that opening half hour that we would go on to win 4-0, I would think that you were on crack.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it was just, oh, okay, we've got to get used to different faces and people are getting used to each other and from the start. And, oh my God, Dundee are in the lowest block I've seen since Livingston 2022. But, yeah, as I say, we weren't bad. We just, I don't think. Well, I wasn't sat there going, God, this is terrible. I was sat there going, nothing is happening.
I was just sat there a little bit bored. Just thinking,
yeah, exactly. Bored is the best way to describe it.
It's a bit shit.
Until Blair Spittle, in fairness to him, plays a penetrative pass.
I mean, there was one, I was going to call it a chance. It's not really.
It's not a chance.
I mean, Harry Milne just drags a tame right-footed effort wide of McCracken's right-hand post. Dundee actually probably the better of the first half hour because they had one chance that hit the junction. Cam Congreve's effort deflects off a Hearts head. I think it's Steinvender.
Yeah.
And Swallow's scrambling, but as I say, thankfully it comes off the junction in the end. But you mentioned it, McIver. Cammy Devlin receives from Steinvender inside his own half on 30 minutes before he finds Blair Spittle. The former Dundee United midfielder turns, slips a lovely pass in behind the D defence to rampaging Harry Milne. The right winger, turned left back, slips inside to Lawrence Shankland, who takes a simple right-footed touch to control and sends a gorgeous left-footed drive beyond McCracken in goal after it kisses off the post. I did say on last week's episode that Shankland always scores against Dundee, and he gives the league leaders the lead once more. Hearts 1, Dundee 0.
Everybody could have gone home at this point and the result would have stayed the same. Because at that moment I went, well, we've won this game. Because Dundee, I cannot imagine being a Dundee fan and that's what you're watching every week. Because I understand teams, there's different horses for different courses, right? You're not going to come to Tynecastle right now, any team, and be like, we're going to set out our station and just absolutely do what we want to do. You're going to, I understand a low block, especially a team in Dundee's position, but there's a low block and there's taking the fucking piss. That was insane. McInnes was so confident in it. Before the game, he went, I think Dundee will play for a 0-0. Like, that's bold to say before a game when you could get beat and then everyone could be like, ha ha, well, you would have rather than 0-0 kind of thing. But so poor. But it's a great goal. Harry Milne's pass is brilliant because I thought he was just going to flash it across the face of goal for Kabore to run onto. The fact that he finds Shankland is great.
Because nobody's really occupying that area that you would expect them
Yeah,
to stick the ball in. Like Shankland does really well as well to just kind of trudge up alongside him. But if you're a Dundee fan, you're thinking one of the most lethal marksmen in Scotland scored against us countless times in the
yeah.
past. Two centre halves just standing watching him take that first touch, and even the midfield like just well behind it.
And it's on his
Um,
weak foot as well.
Weak foot, and because we're in the Gorgie like row
Yeah.
X, perfect view of it, like brilliant goal. Um, and then it was a massive sigh of relief. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, thank God. Let's hope that the floodgates will open and we can score a couple more. It gets even better for the hosts just a few minutes later. Harry Milne's corner, met by McEntee, who nods down for Pierre Stroke Landry Cabore to swivel and smash beyond McCracken in an instant from close range. Doubles Hearts advantage, 2-zip, and a quick fire double over Dundee.
I thought a lot was to be said about his celebration. As I was saying,
Absolutely.
as I was saying earlier, his mentality. There was probably another conversation going on so far this season, which I've seen it in certain corners, being like, how are you going to keep a squad that size happy if you're not playing everybody all the time? And with the hype that Kabore came in under, you'd be like, oh, well, he's not playing. Maybe he's unhappy. That shut everybody up. Just the
Yeah.
fact that he immediately goes to McInnes. I'm so happy for him. McInnes could not have been more complimentary of
Wonder if
him.
he's told him to do that, celebrate, just
Ah,
make out as though I'm
exactly.
the man.
100%. But no, it's actually a really good finish when you watch it back.
And he's just in the right area, Mackay. It's not rocket
Yeah.
science. Like he's what 6 yards out
Mhm.
at a max. Like, and again, he's anticipating. He's hot on his heels. He's ready to rock and roll. Great header from McEntee as well, actually, to find
It gets
find him within that.
so high in the
Can't
air.
believe the
It's
leap. I know,
unbelievable.
just hanging like he's some NBA superstar. Like, what
Yeah.
on earth is that?
Well, he is American. So
Yeah,
there we
born
go.
in New York. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, playing for the Knicks, obviously. Big McEntee.
Exactly. That is a
And
Celtics
then
guy.
Bosh. um, but yes, that and again, as you say, if there was any doubt come
Yeah.
Shanklin's opener, that was well and truly put to bed. With Kabore's second half time, 2-0 up, cruising, and like, are Dundee the worst team that have come to Tynecastle all season? I mean, I know they are in terms of result, but
Yeah. All season, yeah. I thought you were going to be like in the last 3 years, and I'll be like, no, I can think of that. In the league, yeah, because
I was going to say
like
League Cup and whatever. Yeah,
whoever we played when we beat them like four. Was it Dumbarton or East Five?
Dumbarton.
Dumbarton. They were awful. But for a
Sorry,
team in the
Suns
top
fans, if you're
flight,
listening.
sorry. Thanks for the goals. I was there. Kajota got an assist that night because he scored.
Bragasu.
Yeah, he did in front of 9 people. It was great. But yeah, they were just atrocious. And once again, massive thank you to the hero that is Stephen Presley for lying down.
Thanks for your efforts in taking 4 points off the Old Firm and giving us three.
Yep,
Yeah, you might be making amends for, earlier actions.
correct.
48 minutes, lovely build up, sees three quarters of the back four take a touch, and both midfielders eventually Benny Beringame works inside Kabore. The goal scorers combine. He lays one off for Shanklin to strike, but the skipper's effort is straight at McCracken in goal. Devlin sends a tame volley into the hands of John McCracken on 49 minutes. I'm just convinced that Cammy Devlin is never going to score for us ever again.
Nah,
I really hope I'm wrong, but I just can't. I can't see it.
it just again, it's just like remember who you are. You're Cammy Devlin. Can we start from maybe like in front of the goal on the ground rather than volleys for the edge of the box, please?
Do we need like the club to do a "Who do you think you are" with both he and Benny Beringame,
Yeah.
and we could reveal family trees and be like, you haven't got shooting ability from any members of your family.
Literally any generation in your families.
And thankfully, somebody that does have shooting ability, granted, it's into an open goal here, is Pierre Stroke Landry Kabori. Devlin slides forward to Shankland on 55 minutes, who looks for Kizaridis. He slides back to Blair Spittle, who looks to bend one in the top corner. Good strike, even better save by McCracken, who tips it onto the woodwork. But Kabori is alive, first to the rebound, keeps his composure to grab his second, Hearts third of the afternoon, Heart Midlothian 3, Dundee nil, and Elvis ought to leave the building.
Oh my God. Can we forfeit the points? That is shocking. That is so bad. But yeah, sorry,
This is where
Kabori, that you've
tequila
been
then blares over the
tagged.
tannoy. That's even worse.
Yeah, it's just shocking. I feel for Kabangu so much.
It's got to be what's the
Although,
story, surely.
although
We need to
I
start
joined in.
pressing Graham Easter for. Oh,
I joined in the Kabori.
it is catchy,
It's
but
great. And then, by the
you won't,
way,
you won't catch me singing along to that unless it's Kabangu.
the fucking goal of Gabangu coming on, the Ultras started singing it for him and all, as if like, fuck off. No chance. Again, it's a good finish because you say it's an open goal, but it's bouncing and it can go anywhere, and he just
I
kind
did
of
say he
just
keeps his
steps onto it.
composure. He
Yeah,
could very
like he
easily
just
hack it
steps
over.
onto it.
I was half expecting to be one of those that would try and like head it back,
Yeah,
head it back onto the
100%.
pitch.
Yeah. But no, so chuffed for him. I mean, it is just like I mentioned him earlier. My dad's mate Terry, we were walking out the game, and he's in his like early 60s. And he said with some authority, he says it's not the best Hearts team he's seen in his lifetime, but it's the best Hearts squad he's seen in his lifetime. And I can't disagree. I know I've got a much shorter timeline, you do that. So my only real comparison is 0506. But I think it's a better squad than 0506. Right now, the team is still 0506's team is still better.
But there's that drop off in quality.
But yeah, we had fucking Stephen Simmons on the bench in 0506.
Respect on SS's name.
Like, it's
Ibrahim
the
Tal,
main
Christoph
guy.
Berra, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'd obviously love him, but he was a child. The main guy that everybody's been talking about throughout the week dropped. Doesn't matter. His replacement, who's barely kicked a ball, get two. Record-breaking signings picked up another wee niggle. It doesn't matter. Another guy who's barely kicked a ball will come in,
So
score,
annoying.
and do get
that
a
is
goal.
fucking typical, isn't it?
It's so
Absolutely
us.
typical. We finally get rid of the Bosnian Bullet as our club record signing, and it's this boy that just cannot stay
Yeah.
fit.
But
I actually am slightly disappointed that McInnes took him off on 2 goals. Just
it's
in the hope
that
he
football
could-
manager thing, though, to keep him hungry
I
and they
know,
get a
I
standing
know.
ovation and all that kind of patter.
Are you surprised that he brought Braga on ahead of Kabangu here? Because for me, there was no need to bring Braga on
Yeah,
here.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I would much rather keep him fresh for this United game.
Yeah.
Maybe McInnes doesn't see it that way. I'm intrigued to get your thoughts.
I guess he clearly does like Kabangu because he's been bringing him on and he's like really full of praise for him when he speaks about him. He's like, he does exactly what I want me to do. Run
I
about.
just thought this would be a good chance for him to bag
Yeah.
a needed goal and a wee boost and whatever. Because I've still got a soft spot for Kabangu.
Yeah, because I'm like, you are the reason we were okay last season. Like you
Yeah.
came in and were just class. But yeah, I don't know. I guess he just wants to keep Braga playing, like to keep his confidence going, his form up.
Maybe.
Um,
I mean, now he's been interviewed by CBS Sports Golazo. I mean, he's a global superstar.
he's a globetrotter now.
Piers
I'll
Morgan can interview Cristiano Ronaldo, but really he's just building up to the Braga interview, isn't he?
The real Sue interview.
Has that Portugal squad been announced, by the way? It's a
Aye,
disgrace
exactly.
if he's not in it.
100%. By the way, how is Kizaridis no getting a game for Greece? I know they've got like this like golden generation that's about to come through.
That's 17
But it's not here yet. It's not here yet. And they've been eliminated for the World Cup. Get them in for a laugh.
Do you know what the thing is? I would have a horrible fear that Kizarides would have like a Michelunus situation against Scotland, and
Good. That would make me love him even more because I don't give a
I
fuck
don't.
about the national team.
No, I know it would for you, but I just think then he's got a target on his back at literally every opposition ground we go
He
to.
already does
He
because
probably
he's
does
world
anyway. Yeah,
class.
he probably does anyway. He's just an absolute joy to behold, that
Yeah.
young man. On 62 minutes, however, Dundee looked as though they'd got back into the game somehow. Literally, I think one of about two opportunities they had all
Yeah.
afternoon. Blair Spittle dispossessed in the middle of the park. Dundee work it out to Billy Cometio at left centre back, and the Frenchman fires over the top. Simon Murray latches onto the pass, gets behind Michael Steinvender, and slots past Schwallow. However, the former Hibs hitman is correctly judged offside. He then threw a temper tantrum when he was
That
eventually
was
taken off. That was great. And I do like the chance of you Hibs bastard, regardless of who it is. You can't beat it. You really
so
can't.
so. I missed the tantrum until the Hearts TikTok in the last 2 days.
The admin deserves a pay rise.
The admin on TikTok is mad because clearly nobody pays attention to
It
Scottish football
does not
TikTok
care.
accounts. So they can do the one after the Hibs game where it was like, oh, what's this on my foot? Shit, with just Hibs, and then they had to take it down because clearly that was like, well, that's too far. But just
But essentially free reign, isn't it? You
yeah,
can post
it's
if you
not
want.
like Twitter or Facebook where there's a lot more scrutiny put on you. It's like everyone in Scottish football of authority is over 70. They don't care what TikTok is.
They think that's just the noise that the grandfather clock in the living room makes.
Yeah, exactly.
76 minutes, Kingsley and Braga link up, two substitutes combining. The Portuguese find Shankland, who slips it forward to another alteration, Thomas Magnuson. The Icelandic's effort is saved by McCracken from quite a tight angle. You're really growing a real affinity and affection for Big Tam, aren't you?
I am. I absolutely love him. He runs like a horse. He just comes on, celebrates normally other people's goals, and gets like a big
Smashes folk.
standing ovation, smashes folk, gives the worst post-match interviews you've ever seen, mainly complaining about his housing situation when asked about how he's loving life. It's like, okay, thanks, Tam. Cheers for that, mate. And then,
To be fair, how's your Icelandic?
fair, but
Mine
he's
isn't
now
very
getting a
good.
bit of a Scottish accent as well.
I was going somebody say that today. What if he ends up
Yeah.
with a weird hybrid?
I'm immediately a huge fan. It's just that I like a big unit in the
I
middle of
know
the
you
park
do.
with a hairband accessory.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
he's right up your street. He really
Yep, he
is.
is. And now he's getting
Um,
in on the goals as well.
Perfect segue. That he is on 78
Kind
minutes.
of.
Well, Alexandros Kizilidis' free kick is curled over the wall, but McCracken turns behind for a corner kick. The Greek takes the resulting set piece, curls in the corner, which Kometio can't clear. Eventually, it's bundled home by the aforementioned Magnuson, despite Stuart Findlay's best efforts to nick it. I'll be honest. Again, I said to you that I was intoxicated. I'd had a few. At first glance, I thought that this was going to be ruled out. But upon the replay, I actually think it's the correct call. And the Icelandic has his first Hearts goal. Hearts 4, Dundee nil. The cherry on top of the icing, on top of our latest cake. What did you make of it, Daniel McIver? Were you pleading your love and admiration for him? Did you have like one of the big cardboard signs, like, can I have your top and whatever?
Yeah.
Can I have your top tam?
Yeah. Oh, well, that'll be me at the Dundee United game. Third row for the back. Just be like, you need a magnifying glass, Tam. It's all right. I'll come to you.
Definitely on your Amazon purchases with a big Iceland flag. Or
Definitely.
you've got some shopping. Do you remember when Rangers, when Mark Warburton got Rangers up and everybody was buying like the bread?
Yeah.
So you could
I'll
have
get one of them.
The Iceland
Yep.
carrier bags, whatever. That'll be you.
I'll
just
get
waving
one of them. I'll be honest. As it happened, I didn't understand what was potentially wrong with it because of the angle I was at. I didn't really see Finlay, so I was just like, "Why is this disallowed or potentially disallowed? It doesn't look like there's any issues at all." Then I came back home, and by the time I got home, sports scene was started in like 20 minutes. So I was like, all right, okay, I'll chuck that one. And then you see, all right, okay, it's whether or not Finlay touches it. And could Finlay shut the fuck up about trying to claim it? And it's like, Finlay, if you're claiming it, it doesn't count.
Exactly, you daft bastard. Like, what are you doing?
He's just trying to get back and beating Halkett because they've got that competition going. But yeah,
The two
So
of them are
chuffed for
hard
him.
done by with that latest Scotland squad as well, could I just say. Oh,
I'm delighted about it,
oh,
but it's
absolutely.
insane. It's
But it's
actually insane.
a sin for them, but again, I'm with you.
But yeah, chuffed for Magnussen. As I
Big
say, like,
Sam.
I literally don't think he'll have an easier afternoon. But I was really happy for Steinvender to come and replace Halkett and keep a clean sheet.
He needed
Um,
that.
I really like Steinvender. I know that
Yeah.
might not be popular, but I do.
Again, I've got a weird soft spot for him. I think it's because I want it to work out really.
Did you see the
And
guy who was like, he's actually to, we should be celebrating him as the cause for all of this? Because if he hadn't been sent off against Aberdeen, we
then
would
Neil
have got
Critchley
through.
keeps his job.
Critchley would have kept his
Yeah.
job and all this wouldn't have happened. So
I did see
actually,
that, like one of those conspiracy theories. Yeah, we've got
yeah,
Steinwender to thank for our blistering start to the
yes,
season.
exactly. It's all him. And listen, in a much more real term, he was a key reason as to why we won the derby. So, love him.
And he's filled in at right back. I mean, I actually forgot to say that Christian Borchgrevink was on the bench.
Oh,
I
yeah, and
couldn't
he was
believe
going
it.
to come on until Shankland hurt his foot.
I could not believe it. I'm
Yeah.
thinking you actually you do exist.
I thought he was Jamie McCart from my seat when he was warming up, and I was like, "Why is McCart warming up?" And he's on. Oh my God, it's Borkovic. He's alive.
Why? Why has Jimmy McCart got a headband on?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "What's going on, Jimmy? You having an identity crisis?" Okay, mate. You're nearly 30. I get it.
And on
I've got
93
curtains for that exact reason, mate. So I'm right there with you.
says James Penrice over there.
Yeah, exactly.
On 93 minutes, could have rounded off a fantastic afternoon with a fantastic five. Hearts break again. McEntee slips it to Braga, who comes on the right hand side. He centres for Elton Kabangu. Our big Belgian brute slips when he shoots, but it trickles through for Braga, who just keeps on running. He has the pace, doesn't need a lot of power in this instance, but the goalie denies him upon the finest hour as he looks to lob McCracken but can't quite do so. But it doesn't matter in the end. Heart Midlothian 4, Dundee 0, back to winning ways, and the bubble that had seemingly burst is bubbling away.
It makes the point on Wednesday a much better point as well.
Absolutely. I also didn't ask you about that because I think there was a lot of people. I personally thought it was a decent point at St Mirren because I
Yeah,
think it's a game
100%.
that we could have easily won, but also could have very easily lost. And as you say, there was a bit of, I think, mental and physical fatigue really creeping in. The games have been coming thick and fast, so it's nice that we've got a break between the two Dundee teams. Excuse me, come to Tynecastle. Um, this weekend, we've of course got our memorial service at Haymarket on Sunday morning before we host Dundee United at Tynecastle on Sunday afternoon. I mentioned right at the start, the Terrors have left Gorey with all 3 points in the last two meetings. However, we've actually left Tannadice with all 3 points in our last two meetings in Dundee. So the home side hasn't won between these two teams since that Stephen Humphreys wonder goal helped Hearts to a
Jesus.
3-1 win over United in Edinburgh back in February 2023. What are you thinking ahead of this weekend's matchup, McIver? Because I'm with you. 7 points from Celtic at home, St Mirren away, and Dundee at home. I think's a solid return. Hopefully we can make that 10 from 12 here.
And I think we will. Because every week I'm getting more and more confident, which I know is dangerous. But I'm like, if we go 1-0 down, we'll come back. If we go 2-1 down, we'll come back. If we go 2-0 down, I'm like, yeah, we'll probably still get a result here. And I can't really place Dundee United this season. They're a weird side. I think they have a lot of potential. Dolchek worries me, especially after how he fared against us last time. However, he doesn't have Xander Clark to chuck in both goals, hopefully. So yeah, I'm confident. I'm going 3-1 us.
Solid shout. Who are you thinking in terms of the goals? Did
So
Kabori
let's
keep
try
his
to
place?
think. I'm going to go Kabore, Shankland, Braga.
Love that.
Just the three guys up front.
Not sure how it works in terms of who'll
Substitute
start,
Claudio
one to come off
Braga
the bench.
comes on.
Oh, okay. So do you think he'd be tempted to name the same team as he's just done
Yeah,
there
I
for...
don't really think you can drop Kabore after
Okay.
scoring twice.
And interestingly, not either Steinbender or Spittle.
Maybe he might bring Halkett and Agio in, and he might play Agio on the left. or on the right, because he played on both sides. He wants to just play Ajo as soon as he's fit. So
He seemed to kind of feature on the left off the bench against Celtic, didn't he?
and
Ajo.
Livingston, he
So,
first
yeah.
came on that. So he might do that, but he might bring Halkett back into the team. But that would be the only change I think he'll make.
I think 3-1's a good shout, scoreline wise as well. I will therefore go 2-0.
I'd, in a weird way, well, not a weird way, in an understandable way, I'd prefer 2-0.
Yeah. And you've said the front three will score. I will say purely because he's on fire. And the whole former club thing, that's got to be Shankland again.
Fair.
Shankland and one of Braga or Kabori. Don't know which one, whichever one starts.
Very fair. I can see.
Um,
I hope we're right.
Absolutely. And yeah, we can just keep the unbeaten run going. It's great. It's really enjoyable.
Imagine telling someone that after the first round of fixtures, we'd be unbeaten and take 26 from a possible 30 points.
And you know what, as well, like the whole fact that Celtic play after us. I know it's only like an hour after us on Sunday, but temporarily to be able to move 12 points clear is just insane.
It's just unbelievable. And they don't want to play their game in hand for ages as well.
I mean, they probably will instantly ruin it because it's Kelly at home, right?
Yeah, they'll win that comfortably.
Yeah, because you're not having Kettlewell, and let's be honest, their form is absolutely rank rotten.
No.
But we're not here to talk about Kelly. Before we go, we've got the end is near quiz.
Right.
I worry that this could be a good quiz for you, to be honest.
Okay.
I really do. But we'll see. You have a true or false. You've got a couple potential multiple choices,
Right.
and the coveted, infamous "Who am I?" So your first question is: Hearts' first of two fixtures discussed today was away to St Mirren, whose local rivals are Greenock Morton. How many former Taun players featured against the Buddies for the Jambos?
So
I can give you multiple choice if
Wait.
need be.
So how many former Morton players played in
for
our
us.
starting 11?
Yeah, against them.
Starting 11 or in the squad?
Featured against the Buddies for the Jambos.
I would say none, because I don't know anybody.
Do you want multiple choice?
Yeah, I have an answer in my head because I have just remembered someone who did. But
A, none. B, 1. C, 2. D, 3.
right, McEntee played when he was on loan from Newcastle.
Okay.
Halkett didn't. I don't know about Finlay. Milne didn't. I have a feeling that Kabori, Braga, and Kizaridis have not played it for Greenock Morton. Benny
I
and
seem to
Devon.
remember them kicking about with the crane in the background.
I'm going to say 1.
The answer is Daniel McIver, 3. Believe it or not.
Who?
McEntee, you correctly named. Stuart Findlay had a spell at Morton.
Oh, did he? I
against
didn't know
Celtic
that.
when he was younger. And the skipper, Lauren Shankland, was also on loan at Greenock Morton from Aberdeen, I believe.
He played for Morton and St Mirren.
I know. Crazy.
Wow. I would never have got that because I was.
You've got an education right off the bat.
Yeah. Good Greenock Morton based question for this Hearts podcast. I'm totally not bitter at all.
I was just scared you'd get a 5 out of 5, so I've got to chuck something.
Fuck off! Do you go get a 5 out of 5 starting with that?
Well, exactly. That just demoralises you for the rest of the quiz now, so we're fine. True or false? St Mirren were looking to beat Hearts in back-to-back Scottish Premiership home matches for the first time since 2013. But in that 2012-13 season, the Buddies beat the Jambos by the same scoreline in both Paisley matches.
I didn't realise there was going to be a second part of the question. I was just going to go, true! That is the last time.
Correct!
But I'm just going to stick with it. True. Because that's weirdly specific.
I hate when you do this, because I honestly thought you would call my bluff. And you have done, because it is true.
No, this is when I call your bluff. When you in the question get really specific.
But I've got to keep doing this in the hope that you might one day think that this is a
We have been doing this.
Yeah, I know.
We've known each other now for 6 years. I am in your head. I know when you are going to do stuff.
Any idea what the scoreline was in both games?
3-1.
2-0. Unlucky.
Oh, fuck.
Same margin, but again, like our predictions,
Yeah.
same margin. The Dundee game at Tynecastle saw both Pierre Stroke Landry Cabore and Tam Magnuson score their first goals for HMFC. But what was the last Hearts game where two new players scored their first goals for the Jambos in the same match?
As soon as you started that sentence, I went, the question's going to be about when was the last time two new players scored in the same game. Is this in all competitions?
It is.
Do I have to say the game?
Well, no, you can like
Do I say the season?
just give me what you think it is.
The 25-26 season.
Good start. Yes.
Right. Fuck. Right. Graham Shinney was an own goal for us. So that's the first game. Did you say, sorry, at Tynecastle?
No, I didn't.
I'm going to say Stirling Albion away this season.
Oh, it's an away game in the League Cup. It's Aki's away.
I forgot we played Aki's campaign, so I'll take that. And I got the right colours as well. Braga and Kizaridis.
Braga's won.
Finlay.
Correct. Yes, and the 4-0 victory alongside Elton Kabangu and James Wilson. Remember him? What happened?
Yes.
To him?
He's still here. He's still kicking about.
Just kicks about Orium every day. Having left school. What a life. Question number 4. Again, potential multiple choice. How many of the previous 10 matches between Hearts and Dundee have ended in a draw?
Right. Well, we've just won one. There never seems to be a draw. I can't think of a draw. What are the options?
A, none. B, 1. C, 2. D, 3.
I'm going to go 1.
There is zilch. None of the last 10.
That doesn't surprise me, but I was thinking, maybe there would have been one that I just can't remember.
That was the old bluff thing, try and sneak one in there. Or you might think that I've snuck one in there, but...
No, my brain went, I don't have a good enough memory, so there's probably one.
So we're just gambling on something.
I can't... Fuck off, way. I think you'll get 5 out of 5. I think that's the hardest quiz you've given me this season. That's ridiculous. Most of it wasn't even about us. Jesus.
I know, but
one question was about Morton, one was about St Mirren.
I mean, technically it's about the squad. It is about the squad. What about the squad? What about previous Paisley
St Mirren
games?
Scores.
Well, do you know what? I used to go through to Paisley all the time, and I'm just convinced that we never ever won there. But our record actually isn't that bad.
Yeah,
like,
I saw someone say that.
People say that it is bad, but it's not really. If particularly in recent seasons, I think probably since we've come back up, that it's not as bad. And then just reminiscing about our glorious run starting back in July and the likes of Hamilton Accies and Stirling Albion and Dumbarton. But yes. You've done all right. I think you've done all right in that quiz.
I got 1. How is that all right?
Well, yeah, you've hit the bar on a couple. But anyway.
Yeah.
You're Who Am I? For it to get even better.
Who we might have done.
I don't think we have. I had a quick scurry through. I don't think we have. Ready?
As ever I can be.
I broke through at my first club down south as a talented teenager. Later starting in their first ever FA Cup final when they were a Premier League team against a high-profile figure in Scottish football. One of my former teammates admitted that he didn't think I looked like a footballer and initially questioned what position I played, later stating that I was quick and a good player despite not having that shape. I joined the Jambos, who were the only non-English club of my career, swapping the English top flight for the Scottish top tier. My second goal for the club was by far my most memorable, scoring the exact same amount for Hearts as I did for my previous team. Who am I?
I do have someone in my head, but I feel like it's a really risky player to say.
Go on, talk to me. Who's in your head?
Phil Stamp has come into my
I'm gonna,
head.
I'm gonna type in this man's Wikipedia and see. Phil Stamp's coming to your head, right? Okay.
Phil Stamp's come into my head because I'm thinking, I know he played in the FA Cup final because
Okay.
Bob Mortimer did the FA Cup song for it, and it was his cover of Let's Dance by Chris Rea.
Right.
And Phil Stamp is in the video singing with him.
Phil Stamp. Sorry.
He's, he just,
Imagine that.
no, he just sings Let's Dance. He doesn't change it to Phil Stamp. But he
Stamp.
really should have. He really should. Fucking hell, it's the best thing you've ever done on this show. Right, Jesus. I
This is a
don't.
lot about the legacy that I've left
It
behind in
does.
this podcast.
Can't get that idea in my head now. Oh, you've ruined me. I've the whole thing's thrown. And he only played for us in Scotland.
Oh,
He's from Middlesbrough, obviously. And because I'm in your head, you're wearing a top he would have worn as well. So you
I
often
love
do
this top.
this.
I, really
I love
do.
that top as well.
I do think of Phil Stamp when I see
Yeah.
this top.
I think I Stamp or Mark De Vries.
Yeah.
Right. So I could narrow it down pretty quickly. So between what years did he play for Hearts?
This man played for Hearts between 2002 and 2005.
It could be Phil. Oh, but I don't think Phil Stamp was that late. I thought Stamp was earlier than that. Phil Stamp was when I was just going to Hearts games. He was there. And my first game was January 04 that I was at, and he started against Berwick Rangers. Could be. Tell me the clubs in order that this man played. If I got Phil Stamp, by the way, without a single question, fuck your hard questions. I'm good at the who am I.
It's almost like I made the questions tricky because of the who am I. This man started his career with Middlesbrough.
Yeah!
Then he
Fuck
went on
off. I think I'm a fuck who else. It's Phil Stamp.
Then he went on loan to Millwall. Then he ended up at Hearts. And then he went to Darlington. It is the one, the only Phil Stamp.
Is this just because it's the anniversary of his goal at Easter Road?
23 years. What the fuck? I thought we have to do Phil Stamp this week and get the...
Neil
man.
Janchik comes on and the Hibs fans chant, who the fucking hell is that? And then he fucking plays that ball to Stamp. Oh.
And I think it's Rob McLean on commentary that says,
Yeah.
Phil Stamp wins Edinburgh Derby for Hearts. Unbelievable.
Why am I so good at the who am I when I
That was
can't
good.
remember anything else about Scottish football or Hearts?
Are you intrigued about the clues?
Yeah, but I want acknowledgement of how good I am at the who am I.
That was
segment,
very good.
please.
I will give you that. That was
Thank you.
very impressive. You are correct. Obviously, the first ever FA Cup final, 97 for Middlesbrough against Chelsea. Any
Yeah.
idea who the high-profile figure in Scottish football was?
Steve Clark.
Yes,
Actually,
yes, he was one of Chelsea's back three. So I had no idea he started in an FA Cup final.
I thought
Absolutely no idea of that.
I was jokingly saying that as part of the coaching staff.
No, he was one of the back
Wow.
back three alongside Frank LaBeouf and Frank Sinclair.
And they won.
Well, Chelsea won.
That's what I'm saying. So Steve Clark won.
Steve Clark won. Yeah,
Yeah. As I say, I only know that because of the Bob Mortimer connection.
I think that was like Chelsea's first trophy in like 25, 26 years or something. But yeah, they scored after a minute, Roberto Di Matteo, and then it was Eddie Newton that got the...
Also, by the way, can I just say, I've just realised right now, because I was laughing so much, you were doing the David Bowie Let's Dance. It's a different song, the Chris Rea one.
I'll have to go.
I've just realised that right this second, because I was about to sing it back to you, and I went, Wait, that isn't the bit that I was like, fair play to Adam for knowing the Chris Rea song Let's Dance. And it's like, no, he doesn't. He's just singing the David Bowie one.
I'm gonna have to post the podcast on Instagram with Let's Dance by Chris Rea.
It's a good song. It's a good song by Chris Rea. Fair play.
So you mean that Phil Stamp is for nothing?
It's for absolutely nothing, which I think further adds to the aspect of how good it is for you, because of course something you do that's good is worthless.
Oh, thanks, mate. That's very
You're
kind.
very welcome.
Any idea who the former teammate was that admitted that he didn't think he looked like a footballer?
No,
I
because
went back and watched this today because it was on a podcast. I remember it from last summer, I think.
Is it an Under the Cosh?
No, it's not.
What's it from?
Jeff Stelling and Paul Merson did a Football's Greatest podcast, and it was Merce that played with Phil Stamp at Middlesbrough. And he was the one that admitted that he thought he didn't look like a footballer.
I mean, he didn't. He looked like a long-lost Mitchell brother.
Yeah, he looked like a bricklayer.
Yeah.
That's why I loved him even more. What a guy.
I remember I went for a tour of Tynecastle at the start of the 04-05 season. Or 05-06 maybe. And no, it must have been 04-05 because did a tour. I think I've told this story on the podcast before. Did a tour, finished, went back to the original bit, and the guy who's doing the tour went, "Do you collect Panini stickers?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he gave me a box that shops used to get with all the packets. So there was 50
every
packets.
Young man's dream.
The problem was they were clearly the ones that had been given to Hearts. So of the 50 packets, I think I got 3 Dundee United players, 4 Dunfermline players, no Hibs players, a Rangers player, a Celtic badge, and then I had 55 Phil Stamps, 30 Scott Severance, 28 Kevin McKenna's. It was clearly just like, oh, they give them each club and just give them like the Hearts bundles. So it was great, but kind of redundant for like trying to get it.
I hope you still got them.
I do. I genuinely do. I don't know whether they're in this flat. They're in this flat.
Brilliant.
For next episode, I'll get them out because they're somewhere.
Sensational. What a man.
Yeah,
but yes,
what a boy.
I had to, as soon as I saw that it was 23 years ago yesterday. Recording,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus, man. Like, that is just insane. Absolutely wild.
I was 5.
I was 4. I hadn't even been to my first game yet.
Yeah,
that was to come the following month.
Unbelievable, man. Insane. But what a guy. But we hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please let us know on your podcast platform of choice. If you have enjoyed it, it massively, massively helps. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please have a like, comment, and subscribe. Petty Paisley at all the socials. pettypaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can find me on all the socials, retweeting, sharing, reposting Phil Stamp's wonder goal that nicked the Edinburgh Derby for Hearts at Kendo's column.
We'll be back next week to discuss all the fallout of the Dundee United game and anything else that happens in between the time we've been away. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Come on, the Hearts!